we will start now with session 1. Now, Valmiki Ramayanam. Now, what exactly is Ramayana? A gist of Ramayana we will start. Now, as per our Hindu culture, Hindu tradition, or for all the religions that are there all over the world, we have one common there are many religions all over the world, many practices that are there all over the world. In that, we have Islam, we have Christianity, we have Hinduism also we regard as a religion, though it is not a religion, I'll tell you why. And Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism. So we have different beliefs. Let's not consider religions. We have different beliefs, different practices that are there. Now, each of these religions, if you see, for example, Islam. Now, what exactly is a religion? If you look at the definition of a religion, wherein you have one religious leader and one religious book, that is a religion. So, Islam, if you consider, Allah is their Lord, and you have Quran, that is a religious book. Therefore, Islam is a religion. Christianity, Jesus, they worship Jesus, and the Bible is their book. Sikhism, Guru Gobind Singh, Guru Nanak, we celebrate the Guru Nanak Jayanti, that is what they worship, and they have their religious book. So like this, there are different religions that are there, and as per the law that comes in, what exactly is the definition of a religion is, you have one religious leader, or you consider a religious god, whoever it is, and they have one religious book. This is a definition. Hinduism also we do consider as religion, right? But as per the definition that falls for religion, I told you one religious leader, one religious book. Hinduism does not fall in that category. If there are about here 54 people, I ask you, who's your religious leader? I'm not asking about gods. We all have a guru whom we follow. Some people might follow Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya. Some people, even in Adi Shankaracharya's, the Shankaracharya tradition also, we have the 4 mathas that are there. 4 pithas, Dwaraka Pitha, Kanchi Pitha, Sringeri Pitha, Puri, Badri, and so on. So all the Shankaracharyas are different. Again, there is not one single person. Then few of them, you follow Ramana Maharshi, Tiruvannamalai Ramana Maharshi, he might be your guru. Few people might follow the Shirdi Sai Baba, that is their guru. Then Swami Samartha, that might be your guru. Apart from that, there are so many other gurus and religious leaders that are there. Each one of us will have all our different gurus. So in Hinduism, when it comes, nobody can tell, I have only one religious leader, I follow only one. No. Second, it comes to God. Though we say God is one, we have so many forms. I like Ganesha. Someone might say, no, I like Shiva. Third person might say, I like Vishnu. Fourth person will say, I like the goddess. Again, there are so much variety. Religious leader, there is no one person. Religious gods whom we worship, there is not a single god. Next comes a religious book. Religious book, I'll say Ramayana. Someone will say Mahabharata. Ramayana has got 24,000 verses. Mahabharata has got 1,25,000 verses. Mahabharata is great. Why are you talking about Ramayana? Someone will say no. I look at the 18 Puranas, 4 lakh verses. Nothing in front of Ramayana or Mahabharata. Someone will say we have the 4 Vedas. Everything has come from the Vedas. I want to study the Vedas. Someone will say Vedanta, Upanishads, I like the philosophy that are there, I will study that. Someone might say, I like Adi Shankaracharya's commentaries that are there, different philosophy, be it the Gita Rahasyam, the Gita Bhashya or the Sahasranama Bhashya, Viveka Chudamani, and so on. Someone might say, no, I like something very easy, I cannot go very philosophical, so I study the Stotra Vangmaya, Stotra literature written by Adi Shankaracharya, starting from different stotras that he has composed on different lords, including rivers also. For example, Ganga Stotram, Yamuna Stotram, Narmada Stotram, and so on. Now itself, all of you also might be confused. How much she is talking? Topic is Ramayana. You start from the Vedas, you gave me reference from Mahabharata, talking about Stotras. What is this? You are deviating from the topic. This itself shows the diversity of Hinduism. So, coming to the question, considering all this diversity and the definition of religion, does Hinduism or is Hinduism a religion? Can we do now today, all of us now, we fill different forms, right? Be it some government form or some employment form or even for school education forms. You always have a column for religion. All of us, what we write there, including you and me, we are writing there Hindu. Some people still go deep in that, Hindu, Brahmin, Hindu, Maratha, Hindu caste, you write your caste and all that also. But now if I tell you that Hinduism is not religion at all, or Hindu When I say Hindu, we are all Hindus. It is not associated with a religion at all. How come this name Hindu came? We have a river flowing in India today called the Indus. Anyone knows the name of Indus river in India? Earlier name. Sindhu. Sindhu. We had a lot of foreign invasions coming in. Foreigners could not pronounce this letter as Sindhu. Even today, if those are familiar with history, if you read, you have something called the Sindh Sanskriti. Those who study history, you will have something Sindh Sanskriti. Or we have the Indus Valley civilization. Let me not give you the Sindhu Sanskriti. Indus Valley civilization is very popular. Sindhu. So the foreign invaders, they could not pronounce this word Sindhu. They made it Hindu. So people living on the other side of the Indus river, of the Sindhu river, that is nothing but a partition that has taken place, or let's not take the partition, the part after Afghanistan, Pakistan, Afghanistan. You know today where the Indus river flows? Nearby, some part of it flows into Pakistan and remaining is into India. So that area that is there separating Pakistan, Afghanistan, India, that's where the Indus river flows in. Today, of course, geographically after partition, we have Pakistan and Afghanistan separate. But still, earlier in geographical India, Pakistan was also part of India. So in the Indian subcontinent, the Indus river, Pakistan was also there. So there we have the Indus Valley civilization. So it is said that those people living on the other side of the Indus river, they are all Sindhus. On the other side of the Sindhu river, they are all Sindhus. So that is where the river, if it flows between India and Pakistan, if you see, some part of it is in Pakistan, some part of it is in India. People living on the other side, that is today's India that we have, geographical India, that is what they used to term it as Sindhus. Britishers could not pronounce that. Let me not say only Britishers, foreigners, starting from the Portuguese, Dutch and so on. They made it as Hindus. And Hindus, the practice that they follow, that became Hinduism. So that's how this name has come Hindu. Nothing to do with religion and so on. This is one thing. This is how the name Hindu came in. Secondly, why Hinduism does not fit in the category of religion is, we know, I told you the definition of religion, one religious leader, one religious book. Hinduism does not have that. We don't fit in that category. Therefore, Hinduism is not a religion. Then what is Hinduism? What is Hindu? If we say that it is not a religion, what is it? We just have to term it as a way of life. That is because Hinduism has not got any rules in it. I'll give you a reference to this. Who gave this reference? Someone asked Swami Dayananda Saraswati. Dayananda Saraswati, a very popular historian. Someone asked, what is this Hinduism? So much of confusion. Someone says, I want to follow Hinduism. What should I do? From where should I start? Someone says, I want to follow Islam. Very easy. Allah, Quran. Christianity, Bible, Jesus. Very simple, very easy. Worship Jesus, go to the church, read the Bible. That's it. Muslims, they have Islam, they follow Islam. They go to the mosque, worship Allah, they do their namaz, and then they read the Quran. Of course, their practices are different, but this is how they follow, right? But now as I say Hinduism, I want to practice Hinduism. First is, whom should I go and worship? If I say all of you go and worship, Hindus. We are all Hindus, go and worship. Someone might say, I'll go to a Ganesha temple. Someone might say, no, I might go to Shiva temple. Someone will go to a Krishna temple. Someone will say, no, I don't want to go to a temple. In my house only there is something. I have a puja area, I will worship there. Someone will say, no, I don't want to worship anyone. I have a religious book, I'll read the Gita. Someone will say, no, I'll read the Ramayana. Someone will say, no, I'll just sit and chant the names of the Lord. That is enough. So therefore, you see there is so much of diversity. Now out of all this, I told you about 7-8 things. Goes to a temple, you do at home, you read a book and so on. Out of this, nothing is correct, nothing is wrong. I cannot say, oh, you're going to a temple, that means you're not practicing Hinduism. Oh, you're just sitting at home, you're not practicing Hinduism. I cannot say that. He's saying, I'm sitting at home and I'm worshipping the Lord. Someone is saying, no, I'm not worshipping the Lord, but I'm reading some book. Maybe the Gita, Ramayana and so on. That is also a part of Hinduism only. Therefore, Hinduism cannot be defined at all. What is Hinduism if you say? Each one of us will have different definitions. So Hinduism is nothing but people. Or we as Hindus, what we have to do is, we have a way of life that has been told to us in all these different books, all these different ways, different gods, different leaders who have come in. We are just practicing how much ever we can. So Hinduism is such a practice wherein we have got a lot of liberty. There is no compulsion. Someone will say, I read Ramayana. Someone will say, I read Mahabharata. Third person will say, I will read both. But at the end what happens is, in the Gita also if you see, Lord Krishna everywhere he says, Me mataha, me mataha. He says, as per my opinion. So Hinduism does not put on any compulsions. Now, if you see Ramayana, I told you 24,000 verses. Mahabharata, 1,25,000 verses approx. Puranas have got 4 lakh verses. Who has read all this? Anyone here who has read the original Ramayana? No one?
I had the book, man, but I didn't read it full.
Okay. Someone has read the Mahabharata?
I read it.
You have read it. Okay. Okay. So you all read the Ramayana. Those who have said now you read the Ramayana, have you read the Mahabharata? No. Yes. Okay. I'm not talking about the story. I'm talking about the original book. No. Someone has read all the 18 Puranas? All the 4 lakh verses? No.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I have one to all the Puranas.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Good. So there is Sanjeev ji who said he has read the Ramayana, he has read the 18 Puranas also. The original version I'm asking. Out of 53, 1 person. How many of you we know all the 18 Puranas? The names of 18 Puranas at least? You know the names of 18 Puranas? Yes. We know at least the names. We have heard the names of 18 Puranas. So you see in Hinduism, what I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying someone has read, someone has not read. Even I have also not read everything. Point that I'm trying to say is, in Hinduism, at least if we know that something like this exists, that itself is much great. Ramayana exists, okay. What is Ramayana? You know the gist of it, that is fine. Mahabharata, okay, something like Mahabharata exists, you know the rough story of it, that is more than enough. Puranas, there are 18 Puranas, there are 18 Upapuranas also. Out of that, 18 are important, that is enough. Upanishads, there are many Upanishads. Out of that, 108 were important. Today we have only Dashamaha Upanishad, 10 are important. Isha Kena Kata Prashna, Mundamandu Kyadittiri, Aitareyam Chachandogyam, Brihadaranyakam Tatha, 10 Upanishads. So you see, there is so much to study in each and everything. But today in Hinduism, at least if we know the names, we must consider ourselves fortunate. Of course, our journey does not end there. I know the names of 10 Puranas, 18 Puranas, 10 Upanishads, that is more than enough. No. We must read that in detail. But a lifetime is not enough for that. So, in Hinduism, we cannot term anyone as you are knowledgeable or you don't know Hinduism. Nobody knows Hinduism, in fact. Because we have so much to read. Only at least one thing you hold and then you practice. Like for example, few people will say, no, I will study Ramayana properly. Whatever is written in the Ramayana, I am going to follow. Great. Someone will say, no, I cannot follow all that. Ramayana I will read. But it's not that each and everything I can follow. Now tomorrow my father will tell, go to the forest. Who will go? I will send my father to the forest then. Right? So, we read everything, but the decision lies in our hands. There is no compulsion. Same thing Krishna tells in the Gita also. He tells Arjuna, in all the 18 chapters, in 17 chapters let us consider. First chapter is just Arjuna's dukkha. Krishna starts talking from second chapter. So there he says that all this I am telling, but me mataha, as per my opinion, you can take your own decision. So Hinduism does not put in compulsion anywhere. We are giving you many options through the stories of Ramayana, Mahabharata, Puranas, Vedas, Vedanta, Upanishads, philosophy and so on. Decision is in your hands. You decide what you want to do. Someone will say, I want to study the Vedas. Someone will say, no, I don't want to study the Vedas, but that is very difficult. I'll study the Ramayana. Story is easy. I'll give you a simple example for this. Now, why all this introduction is very important. A few people might be wondering why we are not starting with Ramayana. You must know all this introductory part also. Yes, Narmada Purana. Very nice. So coming back to the topic, for this a very simple example of one person we can give is Adi Shankaracharya. Adi Shankaracharya was a person who has studied all the Vedas, and the different texts that he has written is, he has written many philosophical texts, like for example commentaries he has written on the Gita, on the Vishnu Sahasranama, on the Viveka Chudamani and so on. Then what he felt was, so he was writing a lot of philosophical texts on different Upanishads, Vedas and so on. Original version is difficult to study, so Adi Shankaracharya felt that I'll write commentaries. Now what are commentaries? Commentaries is, now even I also, if I say, I'm going to talk about the Ramayana. Now when I say Ramayana, it's not that I have made the Ramayana. It's not my creation. Valmiki has done the Ramayana. Now all of you also, why you are here? None of you, are you not literate? You can read the Ramayana. You know to read Sanskrit, you need to know to read English. All of us, I am also going to refer to the same book. Now if I say, all of you, I am going to talk about Valmiki Ramayanam. Okay, I am also going to refer to the same Ramayanam and speak. All of you are also going to refer to the same book and read. What is the difference there? You are also reading from the same book. I am also going to read from the same book. I am also a human being. You are also a human being. What is the difference between you and me? Simple thing is, whatever I am reading, same thing I am just explaining, right? Whereas when we read directly from the book, there is no explanation that is given. Directly what you read, you have to understand. Adi Shankaracharya did this work of explanation. Not only Adi Shankaracharya, different people that are there, commentaries. Different commentaries is whatever has been written in the original version, the same thing is just written in commentaries with detailed explanation so that all of us can understand and read it interesting. Now here there is no one who cannot read the Valmiki Ramayanam, and I am sure that many of you are familiar with it. You already know the Ramayana. But a few people you might come here maybe out of interest, saying that someone else is also saying, let me listen. For that you have come. Some people say, no, I have not read the original Ramayana, I just know the rough story. I want to know about it in detail. Third category will be, I have read the Ramayana originally, but maybe a few things I could not understand, or few things you can say I could not agree on. So maybe if I listen to these lectures, if she speaks well, maybe I can understand that easily. This must be a third opinion. So all of you here, all the 54 people who have come here, you have different goals in your mind. Right? Fourth category will be, something nice is being there, whenever I get time I will listen. Just maybe they take it very lightly. That can also be there, right? Just for entertainment. Fifth category will be, I don't have anything to do on a Sunday morning. Instead of just whiling and sleeping away, I will come and listen something nicely. This will be a fifth category. So like this, our goals are different, right? So therefore, it is not that what I am going to speak is my creation or something which is new. Same Ramayanam, all of us, I am going to read from the same text only. Only thing is, whatever I read, as per my understanding, I am going to tell it to you. Whatever I have interpreted, I am just sharing that with all others. There will be all of you. You will also read the Ramayanam. You will also interpret it in different ways, and each one will have our own way of understanding. So this is the purpose of commentaries, oral commentaries or written commentaries. So though there are original books that are there, we always need commentators, we always need people. Until date, this works in. That's a proof. That's the reason why all of you are here, right? Someone is speaking, I need to go and listen. We have this feeling. Same thing Adi Shankaracharya also realized. He said that originally everything is there, but still I need to write commentaries so that people can access it easily. Therefore he started writing commentaries. But then later he realized that Viveka Chudamani, or maybe text like a few shlokas, if you are familiar with Shankaracharya's literature, you know Nirvana Shatakam, Sadhana Panchakam, Bhajagovindam and so on, or Manisha Panchakam. They are all very philosophical, saying that there is only one Atman, there is only one Brahman, there is nothing, one truth that is there, Maya, all around is illusion and so on. If I also now start talking like this, out of 54 only 10 will remain, remaining will go away. What is all this? Maya, illusion. If I say life is temporary, nothing is permanent, tomorrow you are going to die and so on. If we start talking all this, people will say, she is also mad, she is making us mad, let me leave from here. That is because they are not able to understand things easy. Whereas the same thing if I tell you a Ramayana story, okay, I'm going to tell a story. Rama is born, Dashratha did a yaga, Rama is born, 4 sons were born, next to Sita Swayamvara takes place, then Kaikeyi comes up with a plan, Rama goes to the forest and so on. This becomes more interesting. We can relate to this. So therefore, Adi Shankaracharya also felt the need that everything I just write in philosophical form, it is not enough. Not all people will understand. So I must write something which is also very relatable to people. So that is the reason why he started writing different stotras that are there. We have the different stotra vangmaya, different stotras that are written by Adi Shankaracharya. So that is the reason on different gods he started writing. That is the reason maybe for Ram Navami all of you would have chanted a few shlokas, few stotras. Few of them are composed by Shankaracharya. Then Ganesh Chaturthi we chant a few mantras, maybe Ganesha Pancharatnam and so on. Hardly 1 minute it takes. Only 6 shlokas are there. This we can do easily. So what will you prefer? If I say Ganesha Pancharatnam written by Shankaracharya, or you go and read the Viveka Chudamani, first step is we'll go to Ganesha Pancharatnam. 1 minute it takes, let me open the book and read. Ganesha will also be happy, I'll also be happy, I can do my next work, right? Viveka Chudamani, I'm interested, I'll open the first page and see, I'm not understanding anything, keep it inside the cupboard only, maybe someone comes, I'll give it to them back. This is the normal mentality that we have, human mentality. That is because we cannot understand everything easily. So this is the reason why commentaries are very, very important. So one more example, I'll give you a very simple example. Why all of us we go to school and colleges? In the school, if you see, you have a textbook, right? Now I don't know how it is in today's times, but usually a normal school has a textbook, notebook and everything. Say for example, a child is in class 1, he has got a class 1 English textbook. The teacher is going to refer to the same textbook and teach. And we are buying textbooks from the nearby bookstore, right? Child can do one thing, he can just open the textbook, he can study by himself and gain knowledge. He need not write an exam, he need not go to school, get grades and so on. Only for that certificate we do so much, right? You are passed grade 1, grade 2 and so on. But still, all of us, we have the need for going to a school, right? Though we have the textbook, though the child can study by himself, the same thing is written in a textbook, teacher is also going to read the same thing and explain. But that explanation is very, very important. So that is the reason why, though we are studying the original Ramayana, or though the original Ramayana is there, we need someone or books in the form of commentaries so that we can understand what is written in that easily. So this is the reason why. So coming from the topic of main Hinduism, why is Hinduism so popular is, one is we have all these original texts, second is we also have commentaries that are written. For example, on the Ramayana, we have Govindacharya, Tilakacharya and so many other people who have written their commentaries. Or even Valmiki also, if you see, Narada comes and tells him the story and then he starts writing the Ramayana. So when we talk about Hinduism, it's not limited to only one text that is there. There is so much and so much to do, at least 10% or whatever we do, that itself is a blessing. Now let's come to our topic. Now in Hinduism, so I told you what is the gist of Hinduism. Next is, what does Hinduism contain? The base of Hinduism is the 3 Vedas. I'm not telling 4 Vedas, we know there are 4 Vedas. Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda. But Atharva Veda does not fall in this category as such, because in all our references, if you see, be the Gita or even the Puranas and so on, or even Ramayana for that matter, gives reference only to Trayaha Veda or Tisraha Veda. Reason being, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, they contain different mantras that are used for different rituals. Atharva Veda also contains mantras, but the subject matter of Atharva Veda is different. It talks about medical science, black magic, Ayurveda, Dhanurvedam and so on. Black magic, or maybe a few ritual practices that we do, astrology and so on, or Dhanurveda. Now in the first 3 Vedas, you will not have any reference to Dhanurveda. Dhanurveda is archery. What should we do after learning archery? There will be out of 10, maybe only Arjuna can do, right? But all these different sciences are mentioned in the Atharva Veda. So Atharva Veda's subject matter differs a bit from the first 3 Vedas, Rig, Yajur and Sama. That is why it was not considered as a part of these 3 Vedas, or rather it was considered to be a modern Veda which was developed later. So the time period differs. Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda were the group of 3 Vedas. Atharva Veda was later added to this category. So therefore, why I am telling you this is, some references if you see, you will have only Trayaha Veda. 3 references, 3 Vedas are given. Then you must not sit there and wonder why so. I have heard only 4 Vedas. So this was the reason. After the Vedas, next came the Itihasas. What exactly is Itihasa? I think I should share my screen now. One second.
History.
One second. I'll just share my screen. Itihasa means history, correct. Itihasa. Iti is thus. Asa is this is how it happens. Thus it is Itihasa. Itihas we say history. Now note, Ramayana and Mahabharata are itihasas, not mythological stories. We say myth. Myth is something but fiction, not something which has happened in reality. But Ramayana and Mahabharata, we have different researches and everything going on, and it claims that Ramayana and Mahabharata have really taken place. Like this, there are many proofs that are there, different places that are mentioned in Ramayana. For example, Kishkinda and so on. Kishkinda is today's Hampi, that all of us we visit as a very popular tourist spot and so on. Then you have Lanka and so on. We have all these places that are there, different places where Rama has visited. Those who have done the Ramayana Yatra, it has become very popular now. You can see all these places. So therefore, like this, there are many proofs that prove that Ramayana has really taken place. So therefore, Ramayana and Mahabharata, we cannot consider them to be a simple mythological story. That is it. They are not myths. So though in English we say mythological, they are all mythological. It is Itihasam. Itihasam is thus it has happened. So Ramayana written by Valmiki, Mahabharata written by Vyasacharya, Valmiki. They are also called as Arsha Mahakavyam. Arsha is something that means which has been written by rishis or sages. Mahakavyam, great texts. So Itihasam, so here Valmiki and Vyasa, they have not used their imagination or not their creativity anywhere. Whatever has happened, they've just made a report. It's similar to newspapers. All of us, we read newspapers. Now today, of course, in newspapers and TV channels also, there is a bit of the reporters and the journalists, they add their own creativity.
Madam,
Just to,
are you showing the screen?
no, I have not shared it. No, I have not shared it yet. Wait, I'll share it.
Second.
Yeah, so they do add a bit of their own imagination little to make the news a bit sensational. That is one part of the story. But apart from that, the Ramayana and so on, if you see, they do not. It will not have any kind of imagination. Or in newspaper articles, say for example, you read something, some news, some accident happened somewhere. You read it. The reporter does not use his imagination. A man is coming, swaying in the wind, and so on. You have these different poems we read, right? Swaying in the wind, the leaves are moving here and there. This was the sound of the leaves. We read all such poems. So there, the poet uses his imagination. Whereas in the newspaper you read, there will be no imagination at all that is being told. As it is, the news is presented. Ramayana and Mahabharata are also similar to this category only. News or whatever has happened, in the form of a report, it has been presented in front of us. Therefore, there is no questioning of any imagination that is being done or any creativity or something which has not happened that has been added by Valmiki or Vyasa. Nothing of this sort. What has happened, that has been presented as it is. Therefore, they are termed as Itihasas. First up is Vedas. Next is Itihasas. Now, why after the Vedas the need for Itihasa came in? Vedas not very accessible, or it was studied by sages who are there. So therefore, from very difficult for people, and mostly if you see, the Vedas are not in written format. Today we have the Ramayana book. Today we have the Mahabharata book. Vedas books are also available, but not the original version, because Vedas were passed on through oral tradition. Oral tradition. Therefore, you will not have always written copies at all. Now, orally in the Gurukula, if we go, the small children, they can read that, they can chant the mantras by heart. How many of us can do that? It becomes difficult, right? So next, and even the subject matter there also is a bit philosophical, not very easy to understand. Therefore, the need came for Ramayana and Mahabharata, wherein same principles that have been told in the Vedas, that has been explained in the form of stories. I'll give an example for this. In science, mostly, all of us, we have studied science, we have something called definitions, right? Different definition that are what is a reaction or what is Newton's law and so on. They have different definitions that come in. Now, usually the teacher will tell in school that whenever we write definitions, whatever is given in a textbook or whatever I have given you in your notes, you have to copy paste it as it is. You have to write it as it is. Even one word you put it here and there, I'm going to cut your marks. All of us have been told this whenever you write definitions. As it is, we have to place it. Say for example, one definition is for 2 marks. Then with the definition, usually when you, now I don't know how today's times the school has it, but usually till I studied 4 or 5 years back, it was so wherein the teacher used to dictate some notes and so on, and we used to write it in our books. Or maybe in the textbook you used to mark some answers, and that's how we used to write. So then what used to happen is that the teacher will tell you write this, point number 1 you write the definition, point 2 you write an example. If you write an example, I'll give you full 2 marks. If you don't write an example, I'm going to cut half mark. So though you write the definition as it is from the book and notes, but if you don't write the example, half mark I'm going to cut. So that half mark, if you want full marks, half mark I will give for that example. So that is the reason why all of us, whenever we study definitions or anything, we always remember or we always learn the example also, so that we can score full marks, right? Why an example is important? Ramayana is like this. Vedas are like definitions. Ramayana and Mahabharata are like examples. You write the definition. Now mostly while explaining also, the teacher, she will explain, oh, what is we'll consider something easy. Some chemical reaction, let us consider. What is a chemical reaction? A mix of 2 acids and 1 base, something, it will, so and so reaction becomes. I tell this, okay, what next? I didn't understand anything. So then an example comes, say for example, let us consider some acid. So it will be some acid you take in lemon juice, some acid they say sodium chloride, this, that, something. You mix that with this, some other thing happens. That is the reason why they take us to the laboratory and show. And then they mix 2 or 3 acid base and so on. You mix it and then third some reaction takes place, color changes. Something we can see in front of our eyes. then we understand that easily, right? So an example is told, we understand very, very easily. So that is the reason why examples are very, very important, be it religion, be it science or anything. Therefore, Vedas are like definitions. Ramayana and Mahabharata are like examples. Same thing that has been portrayed in the definition, same thing that has been told in the Vedas, that has been explained or elaborated further in the Itihasas called Ramayana and Mahabharata. So therefore, Ramayana and Mahabharata, though they are not part of the Vedas, they are not different from the Vedas. They talk about the same philosophies, same principles, but in an easy way. They try to elaborate it easily with stories. Now you tell a child also, never speak lies, always speak the truth. We tell the child, right? Whenever we do that, the child will say, okay. And tomorrow he will do the same thing. Say, okay, I'll never speak lies. Tomorrow he'll do the same thing. Whereas we have so many moral stories that are there. You tell a story, the so and so boy was there, he lied to his mother and then he got a punishment and so on. Or he, like this, there are different stories that are there, right? Now the child, this always remains in the child's mind. Child will say, oh, I should not speak lies, otherwise the same thing that my mother told in the story, the boy lied to his mother, he got so and so punishment, I will also get that. So when something is explained with the help of an example or with the help of a story, we can relate to it, we can understand that better, right? So that is the reason why the concept or why the need of Ramayana arised. This is the reason for it. Ramayana and Mahabharata, why they arised. So second category, Itihasas, Vedas, Itihasas. Third, Puranas, something. Puranas is not our topic here, but still, it is a part of Hindu literature, Indian literature, so we must read it. Puranas. What exactly are Puranas? Puranas are also stories. They are a bit of encyclopedic in nature. So they have information about many things, not only religion or not, they don't talk about one person alone. For example, Ramayana talks about Rama. Mahabharata talks about the Kuru dynasty, Pandavas, Kauravas, Krishna and so on. Whereas the Puranas, they talk about all other stories that are there, but it is not limited to religion. They contain some information about geography, they will talk about history, they will talk about future predictions, they will talk about different pilgrimage sites. So therefore Puranas, the rise of Puranas also arised. What was the need for Puranas? We know the Vedas. To understand the Vedas, I have studied the Ramayana. But then now, that is the Itihasas, Ramayana, Mahabharata. Next is now, why was the need of Puranas? Why so much of confusion? I am happy with what I want, right? But then what is the need for, just one second, I think, you can hear me, everyone?
Yes,
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think I lost the connection, so I don't. Okay. So then now Vedas are there. Next now Itihasas, Ramayana, Mahabharata has come. Third category, you are confusing me with the Puranas. What should I do now? One is Vedas, pure philosophy. And towards the end of the Vedas, we have some more thing called Vedanta, Upanishads. Upanishad, the word itself tells secrets, that which has to be studied by sitting near the Guru. It is said that you go to the forest and read different rahasyams that are there, secrets that have been told. That is Upanishads. Not everyone can study that. It is said that one who has mastered the 4 Vedas, in olden times it used to be there, in the Gurukula, those children who have mastered the 4 Vedas, who are experts in the 4 Vedas, only they used to be taught the Upanishads. Only one who knows the essence of the Vedas, they can study the Upanishads. Upanisada, that means that which is taught by sitting nearby, very close to the child. That is Upanishads. Upanishads are nothing but Vedanta. Vedasyantaha Vedantaha. End of the Vedas, Vedanta. That which comes towards the end of the Vedas. So Vedas and Vedanta, they are quite difficult. Not all of us can read it. Therefore the need for Ramayana, Mahabharata came in. Third category, need for Puranas. What is that? Now you know about the story of Rama, you know about religion, you know about Vedic philosophies, all that is fine. But we must also know some information, right? Some technical information is also needed. Ramayana and Mahabharata are limited by one subject matter that is there. Talks about the journey of Rama. But we must also know Rama's ancestors. We must also know the future generation of Rama, what happened to them. Similarly for Krishna also the same thing. What happened after Krishna? He left the world and he left the earth, he ended his avatara. What happened after that? Kali Yuga started. What happens in Kali Yuga? I must know that. For that I have to read the Puranas. So Puranas are like whatever, it's like the leftover. Whatever is not covered in the Vedas, whatever is not covered in the Ramayana, Mahabharata, Puranas talk about that. But all this, they have all come down from the Vedas only. They speak about the gist of the Vedas. So this is how our culture is divided. Literature is divided. So now, Time is almost up. We have not started with Ramayana yet, but this is how the introduction goes about. Now coming back to our topic, Ramayanam. So what we are going to do is we are going to look at the Ramayanam in detail. Now why Ramayana? Why not Mahabharata? Mahabharata maybe we will look at that later. But why Ramayana is given so much amongst the Itihasas also? Itihasa Puranabhyam, it is said that Ramayana is great, even than the Mahabharata. Why so? Mahabharata, you see, in everything it is big. Mahabharata has got 1,25,000 verses. Ramayana 24,000 verses. You see, the volume is great. Ramayana talks about journey of Rama, story of Rama. Mahabharata, so many characters, that itself shows his greatness. Ramayana, story of Rama, he goes to the forest, he cries for Sita, he brings back Sita, all that story is done. Subject matter of Mahabharata, if you see, and on top of that 5 gems Mahabharata is given. Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Sahasranama, Viduraniti, Yaksha Prashna, Sanat Sujatiyam. These are 5 gems that the Mahabharata has given. Out of this, Bhagavad Gita and Vishnu Sahasranama are popular. Remaining 3 are not popular, but if you get a chance, you must surely go through that. So, 5 gems. What has Ramayana given? Ramayana has not given anything, it just talks about the story of Rama. That's it. Mahabharata has got all this. But still today, why it has been said, one more thing. It is mentioned that Yadi hasti tadanyatra tanne hasti natat kvachit. What is the meaning of this? Mahabharata, it is said that yanne hasti natat kvachit. Whatever is mentioned in the Mahabharata, it is said that that exists everywhere. Whatever is not mentioned in the Mahabharata, that such a thing does not exist at all. In the case of the Ramayana, such things are not made at all, right? Then why still I am reading Ramayana, why not Mahabharata? Even today, if you see all of us also here, I am not saying everyone, but at least in my sake, someone tells Ramayana or Mahabharata, what would you prefer? I'll always go for Ramayana. It's not that now, of course, here we don't have a choice. What you like, it's not as per our liking also. Both are important. But Ramayana is easy. Someone tells, tell me the story of Ramayana, I can say. It's not that I don't know the story of Mahabharata, but I'll get confused. Mahabharata, okay. I'll tell you maybe tomorrow. So today I'll maybe brush up little. I'll know the names of characters and everything, and then tomorrow I'll come up with that. Whereas Ramayana, you tell me immediately, I can speak about that. So Ramayana, why it is so related is, it talks about human nature. Rama is a Naravataraha. Therefore, what is the major difference between Rama Avatara and Krishna Avatara? If you see, Rama Avatara, Rama is one of those people whom we can relate to very, very easily today. In those times, when people used to marry multiple times, including Rama's father Dasharatha, who was married about 350 times, though he had 3 chief queens, he had 350 queens in all. One's own father is marrying 350 times. Now, of course, don't associate this in a negative way, saying that Dasharatha has married 350 times. Is this even legal? In those times, we didn't have this concept of one wife, one husband and all that. They used to practice polygamy. So today, of course, we have different laws that have come in. So then, in those times, it was the tradition that whenever a king used to be victorious over another kingdom, that means that king used to give his daughter away in marriage. So marriage doesn't always mean going in the family way. It can also be just to take care or give protection to my daughter. So that's how Dasharatha. Now Dasharataha, the name itself, if you see, his chariot used to go in all 10 directions. Up, down, left, right, north, east, northwest, south, east, southwest. So he was such a great warrior. So all the 10 directions he used to go, and he could annex all the kingdoms. So much victory he had gotten. So that's how Dasharatha had 350 queens. Rama, Ekapatni Vrata. Sita, Ekapati Vrata. My father only has married 350 times. Why can't I have 2 wives? Shurpanakha, she gave him an offer. Still he did not give. Sita was abducted in the forest. He could have easily said, why go behind the Sita and marry someone and be happy? He did not do that. So Rama, in those times, today if this happens, okay, now today, we cannot relate to this today. Today there is only one wife, one husband, right, for one person. Therefore we cannot relate this today. But in those times you imagine that to one's own father doing this, still Rama stayed on the right path. Rama is an incarnation of God, we say, right? Then, why did he cry for Sita, sitting in the forest when Sita was abducted? Why did he seek the help of monkeys and bears? If he wanted, he could have gone and killed Ravana directly. He did not do that. Or, even in the last, till Ravana came in, he was sending messengers. He sent Angada. Even on the battlefield, when Ravana came in, he told Ravana that, even now you have a chance. Return back Sita, we can avoid this war. Even at that last minute, he said that. Kshama is forgiveness. Still Ravana did not listen. Why did Rama do all this? There was no need at all, right? That is because Rama, though he was an incarnation of Vishnu, he had incarnated as a man, Naravataraha. So many people used to question Rama then, saying that why are you doing all this? You have to live a happy life. Or even Hanuman for that matter. Hanuman, in the Sundarakandam, when he goes about to, when he goes about in search of Sita, there he asks, then he does not tell it directly, he asks in his mind, he says in his mind that why this person Rama is longing for this lady Sita? So many beautiful women out there. For a woman, he's doing so much, go and sending monkeys in all four directions, and even he has come to Kishkinda, right, all the way from Panchavati in Nasik, he has come down all the way to Kishkinda, Karnataka, walking so much. Again now he's going southwards. What is all this nonsense? Why only for that one wife? Now why this thought came in the mind of Hanuman, we have to consider this. First of all, Hanuman is a Naishtika Brahmachari. That means Brahmachari is celibate. Apart from his mother, he has not seen any other woman in his life. And his mother also, he was for a very small time, during his young childhood days. Then he was always living with Sugriva only. So he did not have much association with women. He did not know what is a relationship between a husband and a wife. This was one reason. Second reason is, in those times it was very common. Like I said, Dashratha's example only, 350 wives. Or like this, it was very common. One wife is not there, other wife will come in. So it doesn't matter. He said it is just a woman, right? One woman is not there, he will get another woman. And in the case of Rama, he is so handsome, he has got 16 qualities. All that we will see later. Why then long for this one woman and run behind her and search monkeys and tell monkeys to go and search her in all directions and run about here and there and sit and cry and ask everyone, where is my Sita, where is my Sita? Even Hanuman also had this feeling. Later, of course, when he meets Sita in Sundarakanda, in the Sundarakandam it comes, when he meets Sita in the Ashokavana and Lanka, there he understands that why Rama is longing for this Sita. Sita also we must consider here, not only Rama. Sita, she was abducted by Ravana. Now Sita was not the only woman who was abducted by Ravana. Ravana had also many queens. Chief queen was Mandodari. Out of that, he had many queens. Now all these queens, women who were there, in fact they were very happy. Apart from Sita, all the women who were abducted, it is said that they were very happy staying with Ravana. Reason being, Ravana was a ruler of the three worlds. Even Indra used to fear him. He had all the riches. His kingdom was full of gold. Anything the wife asks, she can do. The woman asks, she will get. They used to live very happily. In fact, the woman whom he used to abduct, the woman used to feel very happy. My husband is keeping me in a poor state. I have to go and work in his house. Here, Ravana, I've got 10 servants who are working for me. I'm leading a very happy life. Good that he abducted me. They used to go and tell Ravana this, it seems. Sita, in spite of Ravana offering her, saying that you come. Now, Ravana, if you see, he did not abduct Sita to do any wrong to her. He fell in love with her. He wanted to marry her. That's it. And therefore, that is the reason why, though he kept her in the Ashokavana, he never ill-treated her. It's never that, though once or twice he tried to attack her. That's when he could not bear it anymore. But still, he never forced her. He gave her a lot of time. Towards the end also in the Sundarakandam we get reference. It tells that 2 months time I give you to change your mind. Right? And that's when of course Rama comes in and then Ravana is killed. That's the other part. But never ever he comes and tells Sita that I will do some wrong to you and so on. That is because he did not have an enmity towards Sita. I am not showing you a good picture of Ravana, but we must know the mindset of Ravana also. He did not have a good picture. He did not have an ill feeling towards Sita. He wanted to marry her. He had a good feeling. He wanted Sita to become his wife. That's it. But Sita, there also if he want, Sita could have married. And that too, for 10 months she has stayed. For the first 8 months. Only in the last 2 months Hanuman comes in there. For 8 months, Sita did not even know where is Rama. And Lanka was on the other side of the ocean. If not for Hanuman, they would have not even known that Sita is there, right? So then, with no hopes at all, she held on to her life for 8 months. And even when Hanuman comes down also, she does not easily agree. So for the first 8 months of her life, Sita she lived with her faith and hope that Rama will come and save me. Who was Rama? And that too, if you see, in all her life, at the age of 6, Sita got married. Next 12 years they live happily. That is 18. At the age of 18 she had to go to the forest. First 13 years she lives very happily with him. Till the age of 31 she lives very very happily. 14th year she was abducted by Ravana. What riches she has seen in her life. It is said that in her kingdom in Mithila, Janaka, she has seen only good things. It is said that even before her legs, under her legs also it used to be like cotton. So soft. And now she is walking on thorns. So she was a girl who had never seen any kinds of difficulties at all. and now suddenly at the age of 18 she had to go to the forest. So you imagine her plight. First 13 years, but of course, though she lived in the forest, she had Rama with her, so she was living happily. Though she had to face a lot of difficulties, thorns pricking, fruits, bulbs, and so on, Rakshasas coming in, but still she lived happily. In the 14th year, attack comes in. So you imagine her plight. What had Rama given her? Nothing. He was banished from the kingdom by his own father and by his stepmother. She had also followed. There, she can also now, if there would be some woman amongst us, we will first leave our husband and go, saying that what a fool he is. First of all, he is getting banished. That itself shows how poor you are. I'm going to leave you and go. This is one thing. Secondly, even if like this, something like this happens, now let's not come today. In today's time, we will not banish from one's forest. Maybe from our own houses, if something happens. What we'll do is, someone sends us to the forest. Which wife will be ready amongst us? No, my husband is going to the forest. I will also follow him. We'll tell him, you go and come. Your father has told you, I will go and stay happily here, or I'll go to my mother's house and stay. I'll not come to the forest. Why should I suffer? This is normal human mentality. Nothing wrong. Sita did not do that. Sita followed him with the hope that he has to live in the forest. So normal mentality, if you see, Sita could have easily married Ravana. What is my husband giving me anyway? And anyway now, 8 months I have spent here. No sign of Rama, whether he will even come, whether he even knows I am there, or whether even he is alive or so. That also I don't know. But still, she held on to that faith that Ekapati Vrata, for me, only Rama is important. So this itself shows Rama and Sita. This shows the bond of a true relationship that one person should have. Today's times, we find so many problems that one husband and wife face, right? But even before we get married also, we have to think 1,000 times. We don't. Today I'm happy, tomorrow what will happen? Nobody knows, right? But Rama and Sita. So therefore many people used to ask Rama, why you are following all this? People around in Treta Yuga, Rama used to live in Treta Yuga. Everyone is leading a happy life. You don't have one Sita. In fact, Hanuman also, I told you, got this thought. Rama said that tomorrow in the Kali Yuga, in future, people, when they look upon me as role model, if they also consider that, okay, this Rama, one wife he goes, let's go, I'll go and marry another wife, all the people will also do the same thing. Because in Kali Yuga, today's times, if you see, we are all reading the Ramayana. If Rama had done that, what will we do? If we have a problem with our wife or husband or so, we will leave that person and go and find someone else, right? There is no respect to a relationship at all. Therefore, Rama said that, I am not thinking about only today's times. Today's times, let anyone do anything. But in future, when people look upon me as role models, in the Kali Yuga especially, I should be a role model for them. Therefore, at that time, if people say that this Rama has married 10 times, one wife was abducted, he married another woman, there is no respect for a relationship at all. People should not do that. People should look upon me as a role model. Therefore, I will follow all the rules that are there. Therefore, when he was separated by Rama also, by Sita also, from Sita when he was separated, when Ravana abducted her, he sat and cried in the middle of the forest. All of us, even till today, people taunt Rama, saying that what, he is God, right? If you want, why you are sitting and crying? He said, I am not God. In the form of Rama, I am Naravatara. I am a man here. If a person is separated, if you and me were separated from our wife, husband, or any person from our close circle, obviously we are going to cry, obviously we are going to feel sad. This feeling should develop. No, okay, one person has died, another person will come in. We don't have that, right? Now, it's not that for that we are just crying and sitting for the whole of our lives. But still, if we lose someone, we do have that feeling that is there. We feel bad, we cry, and so on. We feel that person's absence. Same thing Rama tried to show. So in Rama Avatara, why we have to even study the Ramayana is, Ramayana is one of those texts that shows the journey of Rama, that is very, very relatable to all our lives, and therefore Ramayana is very, very important. So nothing to show that Ramayana is great, Mahabharata is a bit high, a bit low, or Puranas are great. Nothing to show one is high or one is low. But Ramayana is one of those texts which we can relate to our lives very, very easily. So that is the gist of Ramayana. So with this, today we will end our session.